Hello, all my ghost ghouls and gobos, and welcome to this week's A Cyclone of Fright video, where I, Tell, will be your solo host. And as you're aware, if you don't know which one you are, you're a ghoul. Not to be confused with the thing from Sinister. Ugh. Anyways, moving on. So, this past weekend, I went to Lexington to the Lexington Toy and Comic Con, or otherwise known as LexCon. It's pretty exciting. I got quite a few meet and greets. I paid like $7 and some change for a Gatorade. I got a few autographs. All in all, it was a pretty good weekend. So I'm going to start by explaining the first thing that I did. So first off, whenever we got there, me and the squad, my usual convention squad, I decided to go over and see if I could score an autograph from Timothy Omerson, who plays Lassiter on Psych, or as most of us millennials were introduced to him, the leprechaun from Luck of the Irish. And anyways, so I did in fact get my little tableside selfie, and I also managed to get this sweet autograph. Yes. And he was very nice. I do have to say it was one of the better ones, tableside ones that I have actually went to. Not that I've had any bad ones, but it was kind of cool. I took a photo with him, and then he introduced himself. And normally at these things, sometimes they'll like do that, and then other times you just kind of like take your photo and go, depending on who you are. I personally don't like to really sit around and make small talk because these celebrities make me nervous. So I'd rather not do anything stupid. So I usually just get it and go. So after that, then I was trying to figure out where exactly I needed to go to get to where the wrestlers were because I wanted to get some pictures with the wrestlers and also an autograph from myself and my brother. And I managed to get a pretty sweet selfie with Mickey James and also Mick Foley, aka Mankind, Dude Love, Cactus Jack, and Tink, what are you doing? Hush. Anyways, so the McFoley autograph, of course, went to my brother because that's why I wanted to go over there. And then this is my Mickey James autograph. She signed in purple because I was wearing purple. And so that was pretty cool. Let's see. I also managed to go to the little merch thing at some point, and so I managed to get this little Psych LexCon shirt, which is actually a size I need because last year I accidentally got a size too big, so I can't really wear my Twilight one, which is very sad because that's the whole reason I went last year. But anyways, so I got that, and then I also was looking for like minifigs, anything really Pokemon related, but not Pokemon cards, because right now those things are outrageous. So I managed to get a little Piglet minifig. Obviously, I'm sure I'm not showing it very well for the camera, as I normally don't. Let's see, which other ones did I get? I got a little Freddy Krueger minifig, because, obviously the Cyclone of Fright had to get something scary related. Let's see. I got a little Michelangelo little Ninja Turtle because that's the little Ninja Turtle I always identified with. Or shall I say was assigned to me, and then I just, learned to love it. But Michelangelo is a pretty cool turtle, to be fair. Another little, Winnie the Pooh little minifig. This one is Eeyore. I know I have a Winnie the Pooh, and I think I have a Tigger, but I'm not really sure. I'll have to look at them sometimes. I do have quite a few minifigs from various conventions that I went to. Where is it? I also have a little Harry Potter and Hedwig although Hedwig seems to have fallen off. But anyways, so Harry Potter and Hedwig. And then, last but not least of the minifigs, I got a little Edward Scissorhands. Yes. And so that was my little minifig collecting from the convention. I got a little Bulbasaur keychain. Had to get a Bulbasaur because at the last one I got a little Blastoise card to put on my car keys. And my brother was like, "What are you doing? You like Bulbasaur?" And I was like, "Yes, I do, but the little Blastoise was just too cute." I also, continuing with the little Pokey theme, I got a little 3D Pokeball that looks like Charmander, if you can see the little tail. And you can move it up and down. I also managed to score a little Harry Potter one. Well, two actually, but one of them is going to my friend. So, this one I got for myself. It's like a combinations of blue and green, kind of like chrome looking one. I have, I believe, a brown one and like a purple one from a previous convention. I usually try to get a little wand if I see them. Sometimes they're not there though. And then this is the one that I got from my friend. As you can see, it's green and various shades of green. It looks like like maybe hunter green and like an olive green and black at the bottom. She's Slytherin, so that will fit right in with her little wand collection I usually get for her as well. What else do we have here? And then this was the little pass for this year. So looks like Cosmo and Wanda from Fairly Odd Parents. I didn't even notice at first. I just thought the design was cool, but then I was like, wait a minute. I think that's Cosmo and Wanda. And then I don't remember exactly which thing I got this little guy from, but this was a little freebie that I got from one of the things that I bought. Oh, of course. Bottom. And then I also got these little things, which I wasn't sure what they were, but it is a little Pikachu, which of course it's missing its little earpiece. It is in the bag, but it just was slipping off. I got one of them for, well, two of them actually, for me and my brother, and then I had him pick out whichever one that he wanted. Oh, yes. I did have other little minifigs. I got a little Blissey minifig. So here's little Blissey. And then I got another Jason minifig. Not really sure which one it is from. Although I'm pretty sure that my brother said that it was from potentially the remake. Which isn't my favorite, but it's also not the worst. And the last thing that I got was another one of the little Pokemon, little mystery things. It was in this little yellow one. The other one was red. And so it was a little Charmander. I do so love Charmander. Although, as I said, Bulbasaur is my favorite little starter. So I have to, represent all the starters on things. Got to put up with the little minifigs before I lose any of them, because that'd be my luck. Uh, I have a display case for them somewhere, but I have to locate where I put it. Okay, so, anyways, so I talked about the little autographs that I got, and the table side photos that I got, which was pretty cool. Oh, I forgot to say that, so for the first few photos that I got with Mick Foley, it was just him as his normal Mick Foley self, but there's two, I believe, where he was wearing a little Mankind mask, which was pretty awesome. I actually have to circle back to before I went to my next little photo op because I got distracted and forgot the signed little photo that he had put on there. And so I was like, wait a minute. I was looking in my bag and I was like, where is it? And then I remembered it was at the table, so I had to walk all the way around, circle back, wait for the person to get finished with their photo or whatever, and then grab my little thing and go. And now to the uh exciting photo ops that I had. So the very first photo op that I had was with Deborah Ann Wall, who played Jessica on True Blood. So for those of you who've watched True Blood, obviously you know that Jessica is the vampire that old Bill Compton makes. And so for those of you who don't know, basically she's a redheaded vampire on the show True Blood. Well, for this particular photo though, obviously in real life, she I believe is on starring on Daredevil. So, uh, she had blonde hair at the event. So she was also very tall. I did not realize how tall she was. I mean, I guess it makes sense because pretty much everyone on that show, other than Sookie, was like average height, or taller in Skarsgård's case. But anyways, so she was very nice. We took the photo with her, and then she introduced herself. And like I said, this one was pretty cool. Like at the convention, I do have to say that this one, like more people than ever, like shook our hands and like introduced themselves. Which obviously I wasn't opposed to, but normally like you get in, you get out, you barely have time to even say hello to them. But this one was very, very cool. And so while I was getting that one, my friends were getting one with a different person. But well, right before I got that one, so then my friend came and joined me for the photo op I was just talking about. And then after that, we had a little bit of time, and so then our next photo op was, I believe, with Brendan Fair, who I was dressed as Alex Woods from CSI which is the medical examiner, because the person that I was getting photo op with was from on CSI on one of the seasons, not like the main character or anything, obviously, but I think it was like a, probably about the middle seasons. He joined I think he was technically like a photographer or tech person. He wasn't actually one of the main CSIs that went out on the field. He did something behind like the scenes or whatever. And then his character, I'm pretty sure, got written off after like he stole one of the previous characters who had passed away or whatever. He stole his credit card and then someone found out about it and then he basically had to slink away. And then there was this whole arc where he was kind of like their enemy, but then I don't even remember what happened from that point on. But so also he was in the movie Forsaken, which most people probably haven't seen. But anyways, it was like a vampire film from I think like the year 2000, maybe 2001, something around that time. And it had like the guy that played Jack on Dawson's Creek, and then this dude that I got the photo off with, Brendan Fair. He was the other person in the film that was like hunting down this vampire. Uh, and so I really liked that film. He was also in Christina's House, which I think I've only watched like once or twice, but mainly a lot of people know him from Roswell, which I never actually watched. But either way, oh, he was also the brother that doesn't get off the plane on Final Destination, the original one. But so I think that about covers like the things that most people would know him from. But so we got that photo op, and so that was our first spotting of a celebrity in the wild because Jason Bear, who was also on Roswell, was like walking by on the way to the photo op because they had a little duo photo op, which we didn't get. We just got the one of Brendan, but it was pretty cool seeing a celebrity that we weren't having a photo with walking by. Then after that one, I think we had enough time. I was gonna go back downstairs and get a photo at tableside with Scott Porter, who has played several roles. He was one of the characters on Friday Night Lights. I'm not really sure because I never actually watched that show, but it was very popular back in the day. I know he was on it. Um, I know him mainly from like he was the boyfriend on Prom Night, the one with Brittany Snow, the remake. And then he was also on Ginny and Georgia, which I've also never watched, but my friend looked it up and was like, "Yeah, that's what she recognized him from." And then he was on the last season of Lucifer. I forget what his name was, but he was like a potential love interest character that was introduced for the character of Ella. And so that photo op was pretty cool because like I said, I didn't know if I was gonna have time to get an actual photo op or if I'd have to get tableside, but it was probably comparable as far as prices go, so I just decided to get the professional one. And so he was very nice. Pretty sure my friend said he smelled like coffee. I don't know. I do remember vaguely smelling coffee, but normally I'm too like in the zone trying to make sure that I don't look like goofy or anything in the photo ops to really notice how any celebrity smells or doesn't smell. But I do vaguely remember the smell of coffee. And so then after that, I think we were waiting for a different photo op, and we spotted two more celebrities in the wild, as I call it. Uh, Giancarlo Esposito from Breaking Bad, Gus Fring, and also he is one of the characters on The Mandalorian, but I'm not really sure which one because I've never actually watched The Mandalorian. And then he was also on The Maze Runner, I believe, on the third and fourth one. But anyway, so we were just like standing there waiting for a photo op, and then he just like walks by and then like sits on the table where most of us were supposed to put like our like bags and stuff that we didn't want stuff for in the photo booth, but nothing was going on, so there was no stuff on there. But it was kind of just like interesting. It was like the most Gus Fring thing that I can imagine someone would be doing because he was just kind of like sitting there, just like observing people. It looked like. Uh, we also saw Soraya or Paige, as WWE fans would know. She walked by. Um, I heard Darren Norris in the photo booth taking uh, pictures with people. I didn't have a photo op with him, but I heard his voice because I recognized it as Cosmo from The Fairly Odd Parents. And then I told my friend, I was like, hey, I was like, that's Cosmo from The Fairly Odd Parents. And she's like, oh, how do you know? And I was like, because I used to watch Fairly Odd Parents. And then so he walked by, and that definitely confirmed for me that it was him, even though, like I said, his voice was very recognizable as Cosmo. Uh, I technically saw Kane from WWE as I was getting one of my photo op printed out. We walked by, and I mean, obviously, the dude was hard to miss. He was, super tall and stuff, and obviously, I've watched wrestling, so I definitely knew it was Kane. Let's see. Then the next photo op that we had, I believe, was the Psych Trio. So, Timothy Omenson, Maggie Lawson, and Corbin Burnson were there. So, for Psych fans, of course, that's Lassie or Lassiter, Juliet O'Hara, and Henry Spencer, or Papa Spencer, as I usually refer to him as. So, we went into the little photo area, and then my friend stood by Maggie Lawson O'Hara, and then so I got in between old Lassie and Henry Spencer, and so that one was pretty cool. Like I said, I'd already taken a photo with Timothy earlier, but uh, I was very happy that I did get the little Psych one because I used to watch Psych and still watch Psych actually, but it's just really cool seeing a bunch of people that like I used to watch on television and stuff. It's always been pretty cool to see them at conventions and get photos with them because like I was a very avid collector of like magazines and anything really that involves celebrities as a like preteen and teenager and stuff. So it's really cool that like now with my adult money I have the chance to go to various conventions and see the people that I used to only see on magazines. Trying to think. Did I have any other photo ops? Oh yes, I did have a photo op with Matt Barr, which, to be quite honest, the only thing that I knew him from was a show that I watched around Christmas time that had Alexandria Daddario and Kate Upton, and they were like, it was called The Layover, and so they had a layover on their flight, and then this like really cute dude talks to them, and they start having the competition to see who can be with him because both of them think that he's like super cute, but then uh for spoiler reasons I won't reveal what ends up happening, but basically they're just like fighting over this man, and then in the movies and also on all the posters and everything else for that were online, he was like platinum blonde, I think, but in real life he was like a brunette. But he was very cute. I did see why they were arguing over him on that movie because, to be honest, I don't blame two people for fighting over that man on a movie. Let's see. What else? After the photo ops were done, I walked around, got some of the little souvenirs that I showed the camera very badly, of course, because I am not good at censoring things for this camera. And then we tried some samples of some fudge. I think I tried the sugar cookie little fudge thing. My friends tried a Dubai chocolate little sample. Um, whenever I went to go get my little tableside ops with Mickey James and McFoley, I did also see, but didn't get pictures with, but I saw Jerry the King Lawler. He was right next to Mickey James's table. And then in between Mickey James and McFoley, I believe, was Kevin Nash. So I did see him too. Although, like I said, I didn't get an autograph or anything. There's just so much going on. Uh, what else? And I think that pretty much covers my day. I mean, I got my ops, I got my little autographs, I got my little table side photos, and then after that, uh, we left probably about an hour early because I didn't want to spend any more money. And so we left, and then we went to Chili's and had some good grub, and then we headed home because it was like a 2.5, 3 hour trip. Plus, my friend had her baby with her, so the baby was pretty tired, so we needed to get her home. Uh, and I think that about covers my convention day. So, I think that's that. And as you can tell, as always, I'm nervous to be speaking without my little co host, and I'm sure he'll make fun of that later. But anyhow, so this is Tell from Cyclone Fright signing off, and hopefully you've had a good weekend, a good day, and hopefully the rest of your week is pretty good too. See ya!